Quran versus Bible challenge. David, here's a challenge for you. Here's a challenge for all Christians. Take the Quran, take the Bible, and then check. Check for dogs. I can come up with dozens of verses in the Bible where you will have a negative attitude towards dog. To prove that those verses are not negative in any way towards the dogs, you have to go head over heel. But I challenge you, any Christian out there, I challenge you to find a single verse in the Quran which shows negative attitude towards dogs. Don't go for anything else. Don't search for any other animal. Just remain with the dogs. We'll discuss pigs some other day. I know it's going in your head. Dogs. You love dogs, right? So find me one verse from the Quran where there's a negative attitude towards dogs. Rather, in Surah Kaf, that's in cave, there are positive sentiment towards dogs. A dog is referred to as a companion. On the other hand, as well, you can find in Surah number 5, verse number 4, food that the hunting animals bring, those foods are halal. Arabs usually use the falcon and the dogs to hunt, and when they bring that food in their mouth, it is halal. So the food, even the food from the dog's mouth is halal. And you can check all the greatest tafsirs and scholars, all they're united that among the hunting dogs, these things, this verse applies. So food from the mouth of hunting dogs, halal. So find me one verse, even if you can refer to remotely, to the dog with a negative attitude. Rather, I can show you dozens of verses from the Bible with a negative attitude towards the dog. So next time, when you walk your dog, remember this. Quran is the book of mercy, book of love. And there is not a single negative attitude towards dogs in the Quran. The Bible was corrupted by the clergy, and Allah's revelations were mixed up with human endeavors. That's why it was corrupted. The hatred towards Seth, the Egyptian god, was interpolated into the Bible. The hate towards the Seth. What a shame. Revelation 22:15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Philippians 3:2. Beware of dogs and beware of evil workers. Beware of the concision. Proverbs 26:11. As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. Luke 16:21. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, moreover the dogs came and licked his sores. 1 Samuel 24:14. After whom is the king of Israel come out? After whom dost thou pursue? After a dead dog? After a flea? Isaiah 56:10. His watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs, and they cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. 2 Peter 2:22. But it is happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her, wallowing in the mire. Goes on and on. Quran also mentions dogs in Surah 18 verse 18, then Surah 18 verse 22. There is no negative attitude towards the dogs. And as well in Surah 7 verse 176. The similitude that is that of a dog, a person who doesn't matter what you say, hearing they will hear not, seeing they will see not, neither they will understand, they will go on doing whatever they were doing, they will go on believing whatever they will be willing to believe, and their activities will not change. So it is to refer to that particular attitude of dogs towards those human beings who hearing will, they will hear not, and they will not want to understand. They will keep on doing whatever they will be doing, no matter how much you preach to them. And this is in regards to those kind of particular people, particular attitude. But this is not an overall negative attitude towards the dogs. Whereas there are dozens of verses in the Bible where negative attitude is shown to the dogs as a whole. Quran is there to filter those filths out of your faith. That's why Quran is also the Furqan, the divider between the right and the wrong. Thank you for listening.